with some highlights um, that we have on here. So I'm about to share this with us. Can you guys see it?
Yep, I can see it.
All right. So just a quick overview, brief history. Euphoria started in around 2019, 2020. It was just a one-day event. Basically, what it was every Friday they would have an open game center just for kids to come down and relax, hang with each other. We had 3 game systems at the time. So we had an Xbox One, PS5, and then we also had a Nintendo Switch. And then food is served at all of our events. So that was just basically the start of it. And then due to the world having to shut down because of COVID, it stopped. And then to fast forward, Euphoria opened back up in 2022, which is the year that I came on and helped out. So during the last few years, we have actually expanded. We are now doing 3 days. So we are in Millville. On our Mondays, we have the Center, which is Euphoria Wellness. That is also a Monday. We have our Euphoria Team Discussions, which is our Wednesdays. And then we have Euphoria Life, which is virtual. And then in addition to that, we actually started a summer camp also in 2022 to continue. So we're just going to go through the days. I just kind of set this up like a 3-day event, 3 days out of the week when I do this with talking, and then I add on the other stuff. But just for the purpose of Euphoria, just going to start off with our 3 days. So our Mondays are at Oakview Apartments, which is 1701 Broad Street. The only thing with Oakview is you have to be a resident out Oakview to be able to attend their Monday session. So they have a like a child center there on the side of their office where they allow us to be at. So we have roughly around 18 kids that come every Monday. For the most part, it's now mixed. There's more boys and girls. Last year was just a majority boys that came. So in addition to us having like our just regular game center, they have their own PS5 there that we bought for them that has a few games to go with it. Outside of that, we have we do arts and crafts. So we had a waist bead maker, we had a button maker that we just brought over there for the ladies to be able to do something, some stuff. They actually had a bedazzler, so they have like this little tapestry, and they go through and they bedazzle and they make the artwork with the jewels that come with it. And then 9 times out of 10, a lot of these kids don't even really care about playing the games. So we go across the street to their to the high school's field, and we go all the way to the back where they have their baseball diamond at, and we just like do games of kickball. We're trying to get a volleyball net so we can do volleyball out there. Just some outside activities before it gets cold because it's kind of tight in their building. So, and they'd rather do it as well. And then we just also just started doing group discussions. So yesterday, actually, we did a discussion on the limitations, like what do they feel like is the age that is way too over to be doing trick-or-treating. And we had to kind of break it down because they just thought it was as far as like you taking your kids. We had to ask them like, what is the age limit that you think that you would be able to knock on somebody's door with a bag and a costume and say trick or treat and then not feel like it's awkward. So those are just like some of the group discussions, like one of the group discussions that we did. And then this is just like some of our highlights. So as you guys can see, we took them to Fun City when it opened. We took them around on bowling, um, to their kickball games.
Did you advance the slide at all? Because it's still on that first one. I wasn't sure if you were trying to show pictures.
Oh, it's still on the first page.
Yeah.
Okay, share this tab instead. All right.
There we go. I see a slide now.
So that's one of the days at our Monday. So after we leave from Millville, we head over to Euphoria Wellness, which is at the Center. That is in partnership with Brighter Paths. That is from 5:30 to 8:30. So basically, just typically how Euphoria Wellness starts is they'll come in, they'll eat, and then we're typically eating until like 6 o'clock, 6:15, and then we break off into groups. So because this year is a little bit different, last year it was just typically for high schoolers. This year we opened it up to middle schoolers as well because a lot of kids in middle school wanted to come to this event. So we basically talked to Dr. Nasha Tom, who is the creator of Brighter Path, and see if we were able to open it up for middle schoolers as well. And she was with it. So we now have three groups. So we have our guys group for the high schoolers, we have our females group for the high schoolers, and then we have a mixed cohort of middle schoolers that go and they have their own sessions for about an hour. I don't typically know what those the females in the young group does because I'm mainly with the guys when we talk. So I know for us, we do talk about like grit, perseverance. We just did a discussion on yesterday about um, just them and playing about their dreams. Excuse me, sorry, their dreams and aspirations outside of just sports. Because a lot of those kids that do come, they are mainly student athletes. So their topics are, or their dreams and aspirations are always just basically about sports, 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 sports. And then when you ask them about anything else, they kind of just have a blank stare on their face. So we had a nice, really good discussion about them being able to also not just be an athlete, but understand the things of being a student athlete and applying yourself because sports aren't always the end goal for most people, and sometimes some things do happen to them where they wind up not playing sports anymore. So we just wanted to have a discussion with them about having other options outside of just being an athlete. So after we get done our group discussions, we let the kids break off into other groups. So as you guys can see, we offer them to be able to do theater. We have foreign language, and our foreign language is Japanese. We have athletic training, where the athletic trainer comes. The Center has a weight room, so they are able to utilize the weight room when the athletic trainer is there, and he helps them just basically build a portfolio outside of just using their typical means of accessing college, which is huddle for most cases. So he wants to get them to be able to actually build a portfolio that they can actually present to schools as well. We have one-on-one counseling with our counselors there. Everything is confidential unless it has to be something that has to be told. Anything about self-harm or abuse or anything like neglect or anything like that that has to be told. Those are the things that do get told to Dr. Nasha Tom, the parents, and then it goes on from there. But as far as one-on-one counseling goes, as long as it's what they want to talk about and they're free with it, our counselors go to one of the rooms and they do have one-on-one conversations with them, and then that also follows up with dance too. We have a certified dance teacher who comes in and she teaches. Well, the kids basically make up their own routine for the most part. She just comes in and she helps them warm up, whatever typical modern, if it's modern, if it's African, if it's contemporary, if it's ballet, whatever they choose to do, she just gives them the tools, the dance moves, helps them learn the names of the dances and the moves that they're going to be using, and they can basically come up with their own dance for it. So that's typically our Euphoria Mondays. So then we're going to move on to our Wednesdays. So our Wednesdays is our Euphoria team discussions. That is here at the Hope Block building where I'm at right now. That is 40 East Commerce Street. The time is from 6 to 8. So basically, team discussions came about because the one thing that we noticed is that due to COVID, kids' social and emotional cues aren't really there at the point where it should be by the time they really hit high school or by the time that they hit middle school per se. So because they aren't there, we're trying to help them get there and understand a little bit more about getting help because they are lagging sometimes in the school district as far as teachers and getting their proper education and things. So we are basically trying to get those kids to progress so when they actually leave high school and they go out into the real world, they aren't stuck for the most part. So we most of our stuff is teen led. We get them to do their own planning. We get them to talk about what we want to do as far as topics, if they have any trips they have in mind, community service ideas that they want to do. So we have a real small group of kids, but these kids have been coming to this from the beginning. For the most part, we're normally anywhere between 8 to 10 kids that show up per Wednesday. But as I just stated, those are the kids that come from beginning. So the progression with those kids is so much better than it was when we first started out. A lot of those kids were coming in, they were just sitting around, they weren't really communicating or talking. We have a few standout students that's with this group that have led their group as far as coming up with ideas for fundraising, coming up with ideas for community service, talking about the topics that they want to have. So anytime they have topics or something, we try to get those people that are in that field to come in to speak to the kids. So if it's an engineer, we'll try to look for an engineer. Um, we had a few student athletes come in and talk to them about college. We had a barber come in to talk to them about. He was a barber and he actually does have a degree too. He could talk to the kids about basically just going to school, well, going to college for just wanting to play soccer. And once he was done playing soccer and he got his degree, he actually did not know what he wanted to do as far as using his degree. So he went to school to become a barber. And now he's a barber here in Richmond who has his own barbershop. And then one of our highlights that we have on here is that we had a police officer come in really fresh off duty to talk to the kids because the one thing that there is a negative stereotype when it comes to police officers. So it was really nice for an actual officer to come in and basically talk to these kids, give them some backgrounds about like the process of going to become a police officer and giving them actual experiences of things that he had. Like one of the things that really touched them was the fact that as an officer, um, he ended up having to arrest somebody that he knew quite well, and I want to say it was his ex-girlfriend's brother, um, that he ended up having to arrest, and he basically talked to them about having to arrest somebody that he knew, who was basically trying to finagle his way out of the system because he knew who the officer was. So that's just a typical rundown of our Wednesdays discussions, and then we move on to our Euphoria Life, which is our Thursdays and Fridays. So our Thursdays are because of football season. So once football season ends, we typically run back to our normal schedule, which is our Friday. That is also here at the Hope Loft building. The time is from 5 to 9. So it's really an open game center. So like I said, we have the Xbox One, the PS5, the Nintendo Switches. We have a few Oculuses now. We have we have 4 laser tag guns, so they just have a little strap on them. It has a little like triangle that's right there that lights up, and they can do teams. They can do individual matches on those as well. And then we have a host of board games. Got Uno. We got Mexican Train Dominoes. So those kids are free to do any of those games that they choose to do. So we kind of have like little game tournaments here. So they might have an NBA tournament, they might have a Madden tournament. We just us, me and myself and staff, we bring our consoles down sometimes to utilize the other TVs, and we'll do like a little Mortal Kombat tournament. Um, they play a nice game of Brawlhalla. They have All Stars, Nickelodeon All Stars recently on there also. And then sometimes we might not do our game center. We might actually do like a karaoke night. We'll do a movie night, special event and holidays. We try to do something. So just recently, actually on this Thursday that passed, we did a Halloween festival. So because we understand that kids typically don't have the funds to afford costumes, we have decided to do, this is our second time doing it. We decided to do a Halloween, which is fall and Halloween, so they can either come in a costume and they can either come in fall attire. Last year we did a big murder mystery. We had like a little doll hanging around somewhere around this building, and staff just came up with a story behind it. We got objects to go along in our story, and we just hid those around the building along with the diary because we just made it out of like a little fake diary. And The kids went around, they were finding the pages, we were reading it, and their point was to try to figure out what happened to the little stuffed person. His name was Toby. Um, in the murder mystery. So this year we did a giant escape room. So we turned all 3 floors into an escape room. We had various puzzles hidden around the floors, and we had gave the kids the options to either be the escapees or to kind of be the killers, quote unquote, in a sense. And we let them separate throughout the floors, and this might have been one of the best experiences that these kids have had. So we're trying to plan on doing something where they have to be in teams as far as like doing escape room again, or making it something and trying to figure out what we're going to do for them because they really did enjoy it. And then we also do field trips. So we try to get a good field trip in once a month as long as we have the funds for it. So like we did with Millville got to go to round one. They got to go to Fun City. Our Christian cohort of kids, we took them to Fireball Mountain. That is in Wrightstown. That is an outdoor laser tag facility. And the kids really enjoyed it. We actually took our kids there for our summer camp also. So I'm just going to show you guys a little bit of highlights from our Fridays. And then you guys can see where I'm at right now.
I think we lost your screen.
All right.
Not sharing anymore.
Here. And then in addition to that, we just have our summer academy. So as I stated earlier beforehand, Euphoria did a summer academy in 2022 with the partnership of Hope Loft, the partnership with a few banks around the city, and then with the partnership of Give Back and First Star. We did a few, that was our very first summer camp that we did. We had a nice, good crowd of kids that came out within all the cohorts that were here. And then we did that 5 days out of the week. We from 8 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock at night, Monday through Thursdays, and then field trips every Friday. And then our second year we did it together, and then we kind of tweaked it. We went from 5 days to 4 days, and we had various things from STEM to art. We had dance that year also. We had journalism and broadcasting also, so the kids got to actually go around and interview kids in other classes to talk about the summer camp, and then we kind of like performed a little skit at the end of our summer camp ceremony that we did also. As you can see, they got to do wood shop. also with Fred next door from the Hope Off building. And then this year, we did our third annual summer camp. So we did more classes than we did the previous 2 years. The kids were able to actually pick what they wanted to do. So we were able to break them off into what they wanted to do as far as their classes. And they got to be with people who had similar interests inside those classes. So they got to do sports and mock trial. They got to take a life skills class. They got to be able to do art. They got to be able to do sound recording. They were able to do vinyl creation. So they literally sat back and they made their own shirts. Let's get past some of these so you guys can be able to see. So this was like from some of the wood shop, and then they actually did wood turning. So this is like from some of our wood turning things. They got to make dreidels. They had made pins. They made a vase out of wood. Some of our stuff. This is our wood burning class that we were actually able to do. They were able to make like little stencils. We had gave them periods where they can have free time. So they were able to do bead making. They were able to play the game. They were able to take art. We had team building activities that we were able to do in the building also. And then every Friday we did a field trip. So we took the kids skating as our very first one. We were supposed to do take them to Harbins, but because of the weather, we weren't able to take them there anymore. So we had to just hurry up and pivot. So we got to be able to do skating. We took the kids to go see the Statue of Liberty this year. We took the kids to Big Kahuna. And we also went and did last one. Got to do those. I don't really remember the last trip, but and then we were able to do a class. A closing ceremony. The kids were able to make a yearbook together. So they went around with conjunctions of like other classes. So like for our photography class, those kids actually were able to go around and they were taking some of the pictures that you actually see in our slideshow here to put inside the yearbook. They got to do class superlatives to vote on. And then we were able to go around and with the instructors, individually pick kids who they felt like excelled in the class of their choosing. They were able to get awards also. So that's just the last few pictures from our slides. This is when we went to Fireball Mountain in our summer camp trip. So I will stop there. Any questions? I know it was a lot, sorry.
Oh, you must have covered it really good. Everybody's quiet.
I have a quick question. I know
Yes.
you have programs in Millville and Bridgeton. Will you have one in Vineland at some point? Do you know?
Eventually we will. So we're basically trying to branch out as much as we can over Cumberland County. The thing that is kind of a point of contention when it comes to these places is that for the most part, we're doing these by ourselves as far as like the staff here. So like we just now recently got somebody out Millville. We kind of try to look for people to do in the areas to host these things on our behalf. So then we'll be able to go in and out throughout the time so they can get to know us and see familiar faces. But it's kind of hard to do so at the time, trying to find buildings or trying to find apartment complexes that are willing to partner up with us also to be able to handle those things is the hard part with it. So eventually we will. We're just going ahead and we're finishing out Millville. We're going to turn it over to the guy who's going to be running Millville along with the lady, Miss Regina, also to take over. And then I'm quite sure we'll be trying to branch out to Milan.
I think it's great. I think it's great what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
I just had a quick question. For the Euphoria team discussion, who would we
Yes.
contact as far as like guests, like getting on the guest speaker list?
I can actually give you my number or my email,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
I can just set up and we'll just put you in on our calendar.
Oh, okay. Great. You can you can give it to me now or?
Yes.
Okay.
We can probably drop it in the chat if there's anybody that wants to share info. Any other questions for
I
Euphoria?
have a question. What is the process to have these kids sign up for the Euphoria program? Like, is there a referral process, or how would this?
So there is a referral. If you do send a referral, I have the email to the Euphoria um, email account, so I can go through and then I can hand it from there. So typically, how our process goes, I'll reach out to the parent and then just basically give them a quite like a smaller breakdown of what I did kind of today, and I will talk to them about what we offer, the days that we have it, and then I'll let them know like these are if we have a discussion, they feel like this is what's best fit for their kid, then I'll tell them to come down on that day. Once they come here, we actually have just a binder, about 4 pages, and it just basically asks for like their name, grade, the school they attend to, emergency contact information if they're allergic to anything, and it's just our standard rules that we have here. And then once they fill that out and sign it in, they're able to come as many times as they want to. We just update it every year. So if they take off and for a little bit and then they feel like they want to come back, they won't have to go through the whole process of having to sit down and hear the rules and all that stuff again. So it's just fairly simple.
Hi, can you hear
Hello.
me?
Yes,
Hi,
ma'am.
my name is Kathy Williamson. I'm with the Vineland African American Community Development Corporation. And if you're looking for a building in Vineland, we have the Carl Arthur Center. It's a historical center in Vineland that you can partner with us to use. We have programs for youth as well. We have the Black and Latino Male Institute. And
I think
what
you're
we
on mute. I can't hear anything.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
Yes, I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yes,
Mhm.
ma'am.
Okay, let me speak a little louder then maybe. What we do with the Black and Latino Male Institute is we have a group of young men. We're trying to actually we have a couple girls. They do basketball. They go out to do basketball championships around the county. And at the end of their criteria, everything that they have to do, we do graduations for them. And we invite the, city council and everybody to come in to present certificates and things like that. We give them a breakfast and we do all of that as well. And we also we have something called in the summertime that's called, it's called We Are Outside. It's where we invite the kids from the community to come to the Sam Clark Park, which is located on Plum Street in Vineland. And we provide them with activities, education. We break them up in like age groups so that we can, we have kids that do rock coloring and stuff like that. And then we have other kids, we help them with applications, for life, just for jobs and things like that and whatever. And we have people to come and talk to them because we have some people that, some kids are having some personal problems at home. So we try to keep it personal. So we try to link that child with someone that they can be comfortable with to talk about whatever it is that is going on within their lives. So we do that. And doing that, it's called We're Outside. We have like the prosecutor's office sent the detective that was they just had her funeral. She was there, so she got to be able to come and talk to. One thing she did was she talked to the kids in the community about being a police officer, or to stay out of trouble, how to stay out of trouble and things of that nature while they were there. So we was represented well there. But then we also deal with we are collaborating with this young man. His name is James Cooper. And he's going around Bridgeton, Millville, Vineland, Woodstown, and he has the Mentor on the Green. It's called Mentor on the Green, but he also has something called Out of Bounds, a program called Out of Bounds. So we collaborate with him at the center with our youth to encourage them to do things positive things in the community. We try to show them how not to get in trouble stay out of trouble in the community. So we have things like that. And then we invite their parents to come. We have something for the parents. So while the children are being mentored and having fun, we're talking to the parents about things that they may need to be able to help them as well with their children. So, you know, it's at the Carl Arthur Center, and we're there from 6 in the evening until, you know, until say 10 o'clock at night. And we just started a game night, which is on the first Friday and the fourth Friday of every month. We just started that, and that's where we're inviting the kids to come in, and they have different types of games for kids of all ages. We provide snacks and pizza and things like that, so you don't have to, the parent don't have to really worry about feeding their child, because we do that, and that's the same as with the when the program, we're outside. We provide all the food. You don't have to worry about feeding your child. You just drop them off, or you're welcome to stay, because we try to work with everybody in the community, you know, to come out and do it. So I think that your program, if we could link up together, we maybe be able to collaborate something like what you're doing in Vineland. In Bridgeton and Millville. Maybe you can bring them over to Vineland, and you can use the center for the time that you want to use it, because we do have people. We have a step team that come in. We have a group of ladies with our young ladies they're doing step dance, you know, step performances. So they may be performing at the Christmas parades right now. They did a couple things at the Vineland Midget Football League over the weekend. So they're working on doing something for the Christmas parade. So, you know, there's a lot that I'm glad that Mr. Porter had me set in. I don't have slides because he didn't tell me to have slides. So I can't show you everything that we're doing, but we're doing a lot in our program.
Okay. I'll definitely be in contact with you. I'll bring it up
Okay.
to them so they'll know, and then we can go from there.
Okay.
All
Awesome.
right, thank you.
Thank you very much. We're going to move on to our next presenters, the Girl Scouts. I saw Holly on.
Yeah, it's Holly and Martha. I'm
Okay.
Martha. I'm Martha Rodriguez Brasby. I am the membership manager for Girl Scouts, predominantly in the northern footprint of our council, which is Middlesex, Mercer, and Burlington. Holly is one of our field executives. She's in the southern footprint. But just to give you a little background on Girl Scouts, if you haven't heard of us enough, I mean, we're the butt of every joke. We're in every story. We're in every movie. We've been here 112 years. Our goal, our mission is to make girls, you know, I don't like the way the mission is worded. It's about giving them the opportunity to become courageous and strong and community minded. So for me, it's a passion. This is my 51st year in Girl Scouts. Yes, I'm old. I like it. We offer this through 4 pillars or programs that we do: STEM related, life skills, entrepreneurship, which is really financial literacy, and that is my big piece, and the outdoors. No, not because we're tree huggers, but because you take a 9-year-old camping overnight, and that is not the same 9-year-old you are bringing home. The confidence level just boosts. They learn to start a fire, put out a fire, bond, sleep in a tent with all the animals and buggies and survive. It's a whole different kid you're bringing home. I know that Holly is making big waves in Cumberland. We have probably more Girl Scouts there than we've had in the last 10 years. I know that we just started a Spanish-speaking troop in Bridgeton. So no, Holly does not speak Spanish, but we do have staff that does. So she will have a staff-led troop there that is bilingual. for me, it's financial literacy. If we don't teach our youngest of girls how to manage money, how to set goals, how to claim this is my money, you're just not starting them off on the right foot. And I know some school districts are now enforcing that in high school. We start at 5 years old. The cookie program is open to all girls, whether it's grant funded troops, rich people's troops, my people's troops. The cookie program is for everybody. And that's where they learn entrepreneurship. They are going to set goals. They are going to determine what they want to do with that money, how many cookies they have to sell, how they're going to market this. Are we going to do dance at the table? What can we actually do to sell these cookies? They're going to promote them on social media with guidance. And it's all about, the ethics of business and how to speak to people, how not to, we do have people who say, no, thank you. Well, what's the proper response, right? This is what we want our girls to know. That proper response will bring you another 10 customers. So with this, I'm going to give it to Holly to give you a little bit more of what they're doing in your neck of the woods. Go ahead, Holly.
Hi, it's so good to see you guys again. We had such a great site visit when you came out to our junior troops first meeting. So it was the girls were just so thrilled that night. Some of the things that we've been working on are we actually have girls going the Academy of Natural Science sleepover this weekend, and they're really excited to have the experience there, learn more about dinosaurs, and to sleep overnight in Philadelphia. So that's really wonderful, and all because of everything that you give to us. And we're signing the girls up currently for Cookie University to provide transportation for them to be able to attend. That's for all levels, Daisy through Brownies, juniors, cadets. They are currently working on what country they're going to be for their Service Units World Thinking Day, which comes up in February. So that has a lot of planning that goes into place with picking out their country, the food that they're going to prepare to share, putting together swaps, and having a little presentation on what country they pick. And I've got the troops currently earning STEM, democracy. They're doing a robot badge where they're going to build their robots and have some robot challenges. And I've got troops all over the place. So we're in Vineland, Millville, Bridgeton, and we're currently recruiting girls to join us. We're in the beginning of our Girl Scout year. So I just foresee us growing by leaps and bounds within the next couple months. And we're engaging all the girls that are interested in being part of the Girl Scout program. So thank you. And if you have any questions for me, I'll do my best to answer them.
Any questions? I know sometimes it takes a minute, and not everybody will raise their hand or start asking at once. I didn't know, Holly, could you, while people are thinking of questions, just go over the different age groups for Girl Scouts, just because I don't know if some people always realize how, like, some of the older girls that are able to be served in Girl Scouts as well.
So Girl Scouts starts with girls going into kindergarten. They can register as of April 1st when they're going into kindergarten in September, and they're considered first year daisies. And daisies goes to first grade, and then they bridge to brownies in second and third grade. Juniors are fourth and fifth, and sometimes you can include sixth graders. And then they move up to cadets, and we engage girls all the way through high school when they graduate high school. If they're working on their gold award, they can stay on an extra year to complete their award. And it's really for girls of all ages. We've got groups of girls in this whole age group. And the new troop that we're starting, the bilingual troop in Bridgeton, is actually engaging girls K through 8th grade. So it's a great opportunity for them.
I just
Awesome.
want to interject a minute, Holly. For those of you who don't know what a gold award is, let's just for a moment compare us to Boy Scouts for a moment, because we're not related. It's probably harder than an Eagle Scout, but it doesn't get the same prestige because we're girls and we constantly change the name of our awards. But that is an opportunity that they progress to. So there are 3 awards in the highest awards. Bronze comes to them during elementary school, 4th and 5th grade. In middle school, they go for a silver. And then gold is obviously gold, and that is singular, and that's for 11th and 12th graders. I just wanted to brag about it because I'm a gold awardee. But that's it, I'm done.
We have another question from Kathy.
Hi, I just wanted to find out, Holly, how would you get an application or whatever, the process to become a Girl Scout?
Are you interested in volunteering, or you have a girl that is interested in joining?
I might have a couple girls that may be interested in joining.
So
I'm
I can
kinda-
send you that information, and then you can send it directly to me, and then I'll register them directly.
Okay, all
Do you
right.
have you want to put your email in the chat?
Yeah, let me put it in the chat right now.
So it'll also go out just for all of our programs. We have a referral form for our YSAC programs on the county website. I'll send it out in an email for everybody that attended today. So that's also another way. If you don't have contact information, look at the email or just go on the county website under the Services Advisory Council, and everything will be there as well.
Oh, great. Awesome. Thank you.
Any other questions for the Girl Scouts? All right, thank you very much. We're gonna move on to the Rise and Shine program for our next presentation.
Hello, losing my voice, so I apologize in advance. My name's Sean Connors, and I'm the director of Rise and Shine. We are part of Holly City Development. I am totally off base here. We're a part of Holly City Family Center. Samantha's on here too, somewhere. I don't see her now, but we run a 5-day-a-week after school program, but I want to back up a little bit and let you know a little bit about the history. We started actually in 2005, and it started with a summer camp, and probably 5 or 6 kids came that year. And then after that, 2007, we added 2 days a week for after school, and it was just a little church program that we did. And over the years, it grew and we identified more of a need. And we were very blessed in 2020, right before COVID, we joined forces with Holly City Family Center. And that has absolutely been a blessing to us. We're able to welcome more families in. A lot of people are intimidated walking into a church building. So a lot of times, you're not able to reach as many people at times. With that said, we also it expanded our ability to reach. We're focused on Center City, Millville, and the need is tremendous, but it gave us the ability to reach across High Street, the other side of Millville that has an equal need. So it really has opened doors as far as, welcoming new families and different families that we didn't always have the opportunity to meet before. We run Monday through Friday, our after school program. The kids come after school. We have average daily attendance is roughly 30 kids. They come in, they're welcome, tell us about their day, kind of like if you're a kid going home. We try to create that atmosphere where they feel comfortable enough to share their days with us. We offer homework help. We have tutors available to help them, through their homework. We have children pre-K through high school. We have juniors and seniors who volunteer their time to help some of our children with their homework, as well as adult volunteers who do that. Each day, we have different activities scheduled for the children. Today, for instance, our teens they're doing a 6-week cooking class. And today is week 5, so they have one more week after this. We offer dance, we offer yoga, we offer cooking classes, we do art classes, we partner with the Art Renaissance on High Street as well as the Rowan South Jersey campus on High Street to offer different activities for the kids to be involved in. We also offer through the school year, we have life groups where we're able to engage more on a smaller setting so the kids can really dig into topics that interest them. We have a combined teen group that meets weekly. We have a teen girls and a teen boys group that meet weekly. A women's group for the moms because moms would hang out. So we branched out and offered a group for them that started how to create shopping lists, how to shop and stretch your SNAP dollars, how to get the most out of what you receive. That's how it started and it's evolved. I don't know that there's many topics we haven't touched on, but we meet every Monday. To make it easier for the moms, we do it via Zoom so that they can be home with their kids and don't have to drag the kids in and out later in the evening. We also offer a men's group that's more service oriented for any of the fathers. And most of the group is comprised of kids that have graduated from high school that come back, and some of them volunteer for our summer camp, but they stay connected through this men's group. So they focus mainly on service projects and things like that, but they do have time to just kind of talk about the stuff of life. We offer on Fridays, we alternate, we do a game night or a movie night. So it goes back and forth. Lately, movies have been winning because there's been a few good ones they've wanted to see, but that's for 6th grade and up. After we dismiss the younger kids, we then gather to have a movie time. We offer a hot meal Monday through Friday through a partnership with the Community Food Bank of New Jersey, and through Wheat Road Cold Cuts. They prepare the food and bring it to us. The kids, the kids actually had a lot of input on this year's menu, so that was kind of a highlight. And that's also who we're partnering with to do the cooking classes. So that's been pretty awesome. That stemmed from one of our kids coming in years ago, who was hungry and he wasn't able to cook. And he took a pack of ramen and ate it cold, like ate it hard. And he's like, Miss Shawn, you never tried this? You never tried this? And I was like, no, but I was like, why don't you heat it up? He's like, oh, my mom won't let me use the stove, and they didn't have a microwave. We were blessed to be able to get a microwave to help them, but it just kind of hit me like so many of our kids, they just don't know, or they're not allowed because they don't know. And so it's something we've wanted to do for a while now. And through the food bank, we've been very fortunate to do it. And last week they made rice bowls. And let me tell you, the family center, for all those folks that were working out, there was the smell of rice bowl wafting through the air. So that was kind of cool. In our life groups, we have various speakers come in. We've partnered with Inspira. We have a woman who comes in periodically and she's discussed things like self-harm, eating disorders, things that touched us personally in our group. She will take the topic and kind of broaden it for the group, and then hand out materials and be accessible to the kids. That's one thing that we have been blessed to be able to offer. And most recently, through actually getting the emails that Sam, you send out all the time, the Guidance Center offers a lot of really good programming, and they have offered to come in and actually do some of the programming geared towards our kids on site. So because transportation was a barrier, so we're working to get some of that in motion to kind of address some of the mental health and challenges, the issues that a lot of our families are struggling with right now. I jump around and I apologize for that. But our kids also, we try not to just focus on what we give them or what we can throw at them, a bunch of resources. We want them to have a vested interest in our community. So we serve. And my personal opinion is this is where we really shine. This is our strength. Um, it's funny because we think of the people who donate and the grants that pay for so many of the activities that our kids do. But the truth is that a lot of our families don't realize that they have the power to give back and that they want to. We assume that they don't oftentimes, but the reality is that they want to feel included in some of the mission and service in our community. And, we do a lot of service. And let me tell you, it's these kids in the community that are doing the work. It's these families in the community that a lot of people turn their heads at that are doing the work and really, really taking some ownership and some pride in what goes on in Center City, Millville. We participate in trash cleanups often because even the youngest children have the opportunity to be part of that. This summer, we visited all the high rises. Originally, the plan was to make bagged lunches and write a note for each lunch that we prepared. And initially, we were preparing 100 bags for each outing. Well, the kids, I mean, they knocked on every door. It was awesome. I wish everybody had the opportunity to just watch what they did when they got there. Once they found their rhythm with it, but they knocked on the doors, and to see the generational interaction, it was phenomenal. They sat and talked. We went to, I think it was Riverview East, where they actually played games with some of the residents for a while. We ended up there much longer than we planned. At JC Plaza, it was puzzles they did with a couple of ladies that were in the day room doing puzzles. Riverview West was probably the most social group that they visited, and they spent so much time there. But we ended up doing it all summer. It was only planned for 3 weeks, but we ended up doing it through our summer camp program. We did it every week, and we had the donations of the supplies to be able to sustain it. But the kids still now, they forego movie nights once a month to go out into the park to hand out bagged meals or comfort bags. We also do hygiene kits and things like that. But these kids want to serve. They want to give back to the community. They absolutely want to be part of a better Millville. We've also been blessed to be able to address some of the actual needs, the barriers that, if somebody's not there for a few days, we do reach out because something's going on a lot of times, and it might be a utility has been turned off, and maybe mom's afraid to send them because they're afraid, of if the child says something. But we try to come up with ways to resolve, at the very least, to connect them to the resources necessary. And that might be use of one of our computers, use of a computer to sign up for LAHEAP, use of a computer to apply for some sort of assistance. We have SNAP representative come in each quarter. We might bump that up to monthly depending on the demand, but we have a SNAP representative come in and actually do it with people right there on the spot, rather than having them have to go all the way into Vineland when they don't have transportation, or if they take the bus, they might have a few kids to carry with them. So that's trying to knock that barrier down. We're able to offer box non-perishables every week for the family to take home to get them through the weekend, little extra support, maybe Nutri-Grain bars, macaroni and cheese, some things like that. That's provided through the Community Food Bank of New Jersey as well. Other service projects that we do regularly: visit the Veterans Home in Vineland, the local high rises community cleanups, serving at pop-up events. Our kids actually volunteer through Play Streets, snow cones, cotton candy machine, trash pickups. raising tents. They raised a circus tent at one event we went. That was an experience. Um, it's for kids pre-K through 18. So each day when they come in, we do all meet together, but we do divide up into groups. And we have our largest group right now is probably the pre-K through second grade group. We have an influx of a lot of really young children. So it gives us the ability to give them a foundation for solid study habits, but also offer them the love and support that they need when things are chaotic at home. We also, since we are housed in the Holly City Family Center there, since we are a program there, we are able to offer swimming occasionally as a treat for an event. We just did that recently. Some of the other classes as well. I don't want to miss anything. I know I'm saying a lot of words, and I hope that some of them are sticking. It's just, I feel I'm excited, and there's so much going on right now. And this year's been really, really different and really good in a lot of different ways. We have kids that, have moved, but it's important for them to get back and to see the parents actually taking the initiative to make sure they do connect has been pretty awesome. Over the summer, we had our high attendance was just under 100, but we averaged about 60, 63 during our summer camp. And during summer, we did field trips. We took them to the Cape May Zoo. We took them to Belle Plaine to swim, getting them out into nature, which isn't something they always get to do. We went bowling. We do skating. We've trampoline park. We too offered through Truist Bank financial literacy, which was really good. And we actually had a couple of parents sit in with it as well, to the point where we're probably going to offer something in the future for the parents, because it has to start with them. So, that's been a nice addition to add to things. As far as life skills go, over the summer, we had several people come in and speak on various topics. And we also had, we had a police officer come in and talk to our kids. And just the reality is that a lot of our kids are afraid of the police, and there's a whole myriad of reasons, and very justifiable in many cases. And with that said, what do you do when you're pulled over? Some of our young men are to the age when they're starting to drive. And what do you do? How do you speak with an officer who approaches you? Because it's terrifying for some of our kids. And I sit here as a white woman, and I have a different perspective, but I love and care about these young boys, especially of color. And I asked our more than gracious Millville police officers to come in and talk to them. I had a child, not a child, she's a 16-year-old girl, who literally turned away and physically curled in out of fear because her house, there was illegal activity and they kicked the door in. But the fear she had, and we need to do more of this, is long story short. We need the exposure so that there's more understanding and there's more compassion on both sides of it. The officer that was talking to her sat with her for an hour after our presentation was done and talked to her. And I'm not going to say it changed the whole world for her, because that wouldn't be true. But that day, that officer got through on a different level to her. And, it doesn't matter what the circumstances were when they came into her home. The fear was real. And her interaction, her trauma is going to carry with her the rest of her life. So we need to offer more opportunities to bring groups together that don't always have the opportunity to be together under the best circumstances. We also had Rowan, South Jersey has been wonderful as far as coming in, helping to get some of our teens registered, helping to get them involved in programming where you can get college credits while you're in high school. So that opened the door for several of them this summer also. We also had several teachers come and speak because we have a whole group of girls that's what they want to do right now. So aside from the speakers, aside from the life groups, aside from the service, we're offering crafts, just everyday things, crafts, games, coloring, just some fun, some music, just have fun together as a family coming together. I want to share one of our special needs students is enrolled in Rowan, South Jersey, and she is doing very, very well. And she's part of a program they have on campus. And she works at Wendy's right now. And I think it's in the pictures that I think Sam had coming up, but she received Wendy's Employee of the Year. And to know, since she was a little girl, to know what she's overcome to get to that point, it is phenomenal. It's pretty awesome. So if you go to Wendy's in Millville, ask for Patricia because she's a rock star and she is one of the most loving, kindest kids you're ever going to meet. This is the kids making for some of the service projects we did. And of course, there's some fun that they had. This is them making sandwiches that went to the high rise. We did that a lot this summer. So they never knew they, done. And I'm trying to see what the next one might be. That was one Friday night. There's some of the bag lunches that we took out, and they write little notes on them and they write cards in the inside. There's something in there as well. So, there was a man that he was, we serve a lot of the homeless when we go around, and we didn't want to disturb him because he was taking a rest. And one of our boys, Kamari, walked past and he quietly set a bag down next to him. So when he woke up, it would be there. And the gentleman woke up before we left the area and came over and stuck his hand out and introduced himself to Kamari. And Kamari just stuck his hand out and he said how nice it was to meet the man and just to watch that interaction. I mean, I'm the luckiest person in the world. I get to see some of this stuff firsthand. We also had 4 students who have just been chosen to be part of the National Honor Society, which is a huge, big deal for these kids. 2 of them are actually considered homeless right now, but they are able to put that aside and deal with it and still stay focused on their goal, their end goal, which one will be leaving for college in September. We have 2 that just joined the Junior National Honor Society. We have several that won Citizen of the Month awards or Student of the Month awards at various elementary schools. We're waiting on report cards to hear the really good news, hopefully. We have several in marching band this year. One girl taught herself with a broken flute on YouTube how to play the flute so she could try out for the marching band. That's Patricia. That's her at her ceremony receiving the award for Employee of the Month for Wendy's. So, or Employee of the Year, I'm sorry, at Wendy's. That's Jacqueline. She's Student of the Month. That's this month at Rick Avenue. That's Janelli. She did the police week last summer, and that's her receiving her award. And that's a big deal because that little girl was homeless. There's 2 girls, that's Shay Shay and Gaela, and they played field hockey for the first time. We had some old sticks and started batting a ball around. They wanted to do it, so they ended up trying out and being part of the team. And one of them's also playing soccer this year. She was the captain of her soccer team at Lakeside this year, and she was also part of the student advisory committee That's Cookie, aka Alicia. She won Student of the Month in first grade. She's at Silver Run. Just waiting to see the next one. That's Zen, and Zen's mom, she is a fierce warrior. She battles with a lot of health issues, but I'll tell you what, she shows up every day for this little boy. He's in kindergarten at Rick Avenue, and it was a little bumpy transition, but that day he got a red star and a good report from his teacher, so we were celebrating that. That's Gary. Gary, the challenges are unimaginable for that boy, but that he made that report card was honor roll. That was the end of last year, and you know, he's pretty awesome. That's Skyela as part of the student advisory board, where she actually met with the Board of Ed and did a presentation about the environment in school. We also did a project. There's been quite a few shootings in our area right now. And this is Gaela's project. And this is what it's like for a teen growing up in Millville. This was her depiction of this. Their household, there's 8 children in that household, and they had bullets go into their bathroom at 2 a.m. one week. And then mom was out, right? She ran to the store to get a prescription, and she came home, and thank God she wanted to sit in the car and listen to a song, but she decided to get in the house because dad had to go to work. He works at Duran's, he works shift work. So she said, let me get in there so he can get on to work. And if she had stayed out, there was a drive-by, and the officer said, somebody must have been watching over you because not one of the bullets went into your car, but they picked up 40 shell casings at the back end of her car. Well, what I didn't know about that story after she told me was that their 16-year-old son had just come in from taking out the trash. And this is a family that, from where I sit, does everything right. You know, they're really doing great with these kids. And Gaela did this illustration about the crime, the drugs, the prostitution. Pow, pow, pow was the sound she heard that night while they were in their house on the floor. The homelessness, how violent it is. And just in general, she has Save Us across the girl's head. And just in general, how it just seems like we're in a country that doesn't really seem to care enough about what our kids are going through and the trauma that they carry with them every day. And we expect them to go to school and succeed, but this is what they're dealing with. Post-traumatic stress is rampant in our teens and our children. So that's been a hot topic this year as far as what we're trying to work through with the kids. But to end on a positive note, we had the kids set very specific SMART goals this year, and we do weekly checkups to see what they've done each week to get towards that goal. And some of them have had a few setbacks, but that's okay. We expect that. But we're plugging away, and some of their goals, they're realistic. I mean, they're SMART goals, and they're doing a good job. And the other thing was, we have a little boy, not a little boy, but a boy, and I'm super proud of him. He's never participated in any sports, and he's a 10th grade student this year. And the baseball team put out a call, anyone interested in playing baseball, but has never played, if you'd like to try out or come practice. And he went. So we found a couple bats, we found a bucket of balls, we got a glove for him, and we went and watched him. And it was crazy because he didn't have any parents to go. And so we decided we were going to go. But what I didn't realize, that the 15 kids with us that overheard the conversation were coming too. So we rolled deep to the Babe Ruth field, and we screamed, cheered, and embarrassed him. But he made contact twice, and he really likes it, and he's excited about it. So there's a lot of challenges and obstacles, but these kids persevere, and they're awesome. And we are blessed to be able to offer these opportunities for the kids. And it's with all of you too. Like, thank you. Like, Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for allowing us to do this work.
Thank you,
Does
Sean.
anybody have any questions?
Thank you for all you do.
Well, I mean, stop by. Anybody, whoever wants to stop by and meet our amazing kids.
Any questions before we let Sean off the hook? No? Okay. Well, thank you again. And we're going to go on to last but not least, the Wawa Summer Youth Employment Program.
Oh, I think I messed up here. Of course, I tried it before we got started, and now I can't. Now I can't see it. Okay. All right, so while I'm trying to get this, I'll talk a little bit about the Wawa program. So this is a program that has been in I had it before, Sam. What am I doing wrong?
I'm not sure. We had it. It was up.
I know. All right, I
That's
think
how it goes. Even
I
when you
know,
prep
always.
it, something will still happen.
No. All right, I'll just pull it up on my end and just talk about it then. I can't seem to find it. So the Wawa program has been a program that we've that we've ran since 1999. Excuse me. Since 1999, this was a partnership that was formed with Wawa and the Cumberland County Department of Workforce Development, or Employment and Training now, to really meet the needs of Wawa at the shore stores. So, in the summertime, lots of tourism, the Wawa shore stores get very busy, and they didn't have enough employees in that area to meet the need. So they approached us about forming this partnership. So this was back in 1999. YSAC actually came involved in 2012, and they helped do transportation assistance in the very beginning. So this is for the Wawa program is for local youth that are attending any of the local high schools in Cumberland County. So that's Bridgeton, Cumberland Regional, Millville, Vineland, and CC Tech. So transportation is provided from their either school or the closest Wawa to them down to the shore stores. So when YSAC came involved in 2012, this was it was to help with that transportation cost, which is almost like $200,000 a year. So YSAC put in a portion. Since that time, YSAC funds have been diverted to other things, which include job coaching services. So we hire 5 job coaches a year to really help be a liaison between Wawa and the schools during the whole process. But then once they're at the shore stores, they check in, they go down to the shore stores, make sure they're doing a really good job. If there's any problems, they can be there to help kind of navigate through some of those issues with youth having their first job in a very busy retail setting, which if you've ever been to a Wawa shore store, you can really hardly ever find parking, that it's just a really busy time and to have your first job in that environment is a little nerve-wracking for some people. So the YSAC funds go for job coaching services. They also go to help with supportive services for the purchase of uniforms. So they can buy a pair of khaki pants and non-slip shoes, and they are reimbursed for that cost through YSAC funds. Also, there's an incentive program. So if there's any money left over from those supportive services, we buy gift cards, and then youth who finish the program successfully or employee of the month, those kind of things, we give them incentive cards for that. And then very recently, in the last couple of years, YSAC gave us additional funds to do a scholarship program. So two youth who are seniors who are moving on to either training or education have the opportunity to apply for a scholarship, go through a review committee, and then two people are awarded $5,000 towards that schooling. So let me just see if I've said everything about that. So who's eligible? It's like I said, the students who are in those high schools, they have to be 16 years or older by March 20th. There's a little leeway in that. They just have to be 16 by the time they're onboarded for orientation. I'll talk about the important dates in a few slides. They can't have any major behavior or attendance issues. Some are okay, but major things are a red flag, especially attendance, because Wawa wants to know that people are going to show up for work. They need the people to show up for work. And they have to attend an information session. So they can apply by each school has a school contact. Wish I could pull up these slides. Let me see if I can do it again real quick.
If you can email it to me. Oh, there it is. You got it.
Oh, it was? Okay.
It
let
was
me go
just
back.
there. Yeah.
All right. I can't see it, so I don't know which slide you're on. What does it say?
It's the who is eligible and how to apply, slide number 3.
Okay, awesome. So each school has a school contact. For Bridgeton High School, it's Mr. Ziefel. Anybody who's been around Cumberland County knows Mr. Ziefel. So he's the man at BHS. Cumberland Regional is Mrs. Kennedy from the Coke Connection. CC Tech is Mr. Bermudez. Millville High School is Miss Burpolis, and Vineland High School is Miss Roman from the Impact Program. So the only thing in every school right now, there's announcements being made for youth who are interested to come get applications. Application packets are available right now until the end of January. So youth should know. Kids who are in high school right now should know that this program exists. We also attend all of the career fairs. We attend anything at the schools or in the community just to market this program. A lot of times parents will see what's going on and kind of encourage their kids to do it. So just a little history. Wawa in the very beginning hired, a couple dozen people. We're at the point now where they're averaging about 150 students who are hired each year from Cumberland County to go to the shore stores. So it's a really awesome opportunity. Let me see. Do you see the next slide now?
Yes.
Okay. So what's provided? When someone is hired, and not everyone will be hired, there's usually double the amount of people that Wawa needs for each year that apply. And there's an interview process. So then Wawa chooses who they want to hire. There's an alternate list in case somebody decides they don't want to do it, they can pull from the alternate list. But what's provided is the transportation from the local high school to a nearby Wawa store to the shore store. Transportation from their house to that location is not provided. So youth would need to be able to get from their house to either their local high school or the nearby Wawa. Job coaching services, uniforms. They have an opportunity to continue to work with Wawa depending on their need at local stores. They always it's been averaging about 50% of the youth who are hired and complete. They just transfer them to a local store so that they continue to work. Wawa has been great in the past for people who have graduated and go on to a college in Maryland or Delaware or something like that. They call the store nearby and ask if they can transfer there. So that's happened a lot as well. And they get to work in a positive, engaging work environment. They're offered $16.50 an hour. They have the employee of the employee of the month incentives and scholarship opportunities for seniors. So the expectations of someone who is going to work at Wawa are listed below, and this comes directly from Wawa's their kind of motto in how people work. So they want people who are positive, can-do attitude, smile. They want honesty. Attendance is key. They want you to treat other people with respect and courtesy. Always do your best and to be prepared with a clean uniform and positive attitude. So that's what Wawa expects the youth in our program, how they expect them to be. And that's kind of where our job coaches come in. So if somebody doesn't have a really good attitude and the manager reaches out to our job coach, they can go and kind of talk to that person and see what's going on. A lot of times things are going on in the background that the employer doesn't know. So the job coach can kind of pull that out of them and work through those situations. Here are some tentative important dates. So the informations are happening in about a little more than a month. Like I said, announcements are being made every day at the schools. So the information sessions are the first and second week of December at all the schools, BHS, going down all of those dates. And then they have the next, after the information sessions, they apply, they give their application to the school contact, and then interview dates are scheduled at each school. So Wawa actually goes to the school, their managers go and interview all of the youth the first week of February. There are makeup days if needed. And then onboarding, which also happens at the school. We try to make it as easy as possible for the youth and their parents. So onboarding at each school happens in March, where they need their original documents. So if you have anybody that you want to refer to this program or you want to tell anybody about, and they don't have their original birth certificate, they need to get that going now so that they have all those original documents. This is a job. This is Wawa hiring these youth. So they would need all those original documents. So security card, all that stuff. Orientation happens March 29th at BHS at Bridgeton High School for all of the youth. That's where we could get a space big enough for that to happen. And then they start inland training. So they don't just send them down to the really busy shore stores to work. What they do is they start at the end of March until the beginning of May, and they train in local stores so that they have all the skills necessary to go down into that busy environment and do a good job. Students start at the shore stores at the beginning of May. While they're in school, they only work on Saturday. There's 2 shifts on Saturday and 1 shift on Sunday morning into the afternoon, so that they're not, school isn't being put to the side. It's, they have time to get ready for the school week. And then once the school year is over, then it's full time. So buses run 2 shifts a day every day. So for the training stores, the local stores, transportation is not provided. So that would have to be provided by parents, or if they live close enough, they can get there by walking or biking or whatever. So here's some pictures of some past youth. And I will say that Wawa has, they do a parent night. I think I forgot to put that on the important dates. Parent night happens at Bridgeton High School as well for all the schools. And they have different regional managers and stuff come and present. And one of them actually came through our program back in the early 2000s, is now a regional manager. So there are lots of success stories from this program. And we really couldn't do it without the help of YSAC, who provides funding for the job coaching services. It gives those supportive services to the youth, and then that scholarship money. Are there any questions?
Again, you must have answered all the questions, Jamie. Well, if there aren't any questions, to thank Jamie, and thanks all of our other presenters for taking the time out to share about their programs. I appreciate that, and I appreciate everybody else that was able to hop on to maybe learn a little bit more. And like I said, I dropped the link to the YSAC webpage in the chat. The recording is going to go up on that webpage too. So if you want to look at it again or share it, that's where you'll be able to find it once it gets posted. And the referral form for all these programs are on there as well. So again, thank you everyone and have a great day.
Thank you.